LeonCrest is the defensive UX variant to Leon Claw, a bay that is kind of infamous for not being that great. So with the reveal of LeonCrest, there was hope that we'd finally get a good Leon Bay in the X system, and it's safe to say that Takara Tomy delivered. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new UX-06 LeonCrest Booster, which may actually be the best defense type in the entire game. Taking a look at the box first, there really isn't anything of note here. It's just a pretty basic Beyblade X box design, and since it's a booster, there's no launcher here, or extra piece, or extra bay, so there's really nothing special. On the back of the box, you get an entire part and stat breakdown if the Takara Tomy stats matter to you. And you can also see a portrait of King, or Titus if you like the dub names more. But now let's take the box and we're just gonna talk. I actually need that. Instead of getting rid of the box, let's open it up. And the first piece we're gonna look at is the bit, which is Gear Needle. Gear Needle is not a new part at all. It originally released on the Sphinx Cowl Random Booster Select, and it was kind of forgotten. I might be a little bit of a hater here, but I am not a big fan of any of the needle bits in Beyblade X. But Gear Needle especially is one I don't hear anything about ever. I don't see anybody talking about it, I don't see anybody using it, and I especially don't see it at any tournaments at all. So why Takara Tomy would include such a seemingly unpopular piece, I have no idea. I would have chosen a little bit differently, maybe a reprint of High Needle even, but instead we have Gear Needle in this kind of faded grayish green color, which I actually kind of like because it's rather unique. This faded color is definitely way different than the very saturated colors we normally see bits in. This video is sponsored by Mall of Toys. If you guys want to buy LeonCrest or the new Phoenix Rudder deck set, they're going to be one of the best places for it, and they're also accepting pre-orders for upcoming bays like Whale Wave. So go and check out Mall of Toys, links in the description down below, and make sure you use code ilinnuc to get 5% off of your purchase. But now let's move on to our first new piece in this booster with the 760 Ratchet. Now 760 was the piece that people were unanimously excited about. Typically in Beyblade X, you want your ratchets to be shorter and you want them to be more rounded off. That might be kind of a hot take and that changes depending on the combo, but that's one of the reasons why 960 is really popular. Same with 360. So if you look at 760, it's pretty round. It's at that 60 height, and it's also pretty armored as well. It really does remind me of the 560 Ratchet, which interestingly enough, released with Leon Claw. And they're in the same color as well, which was definitely done on purpose. Takara Tomy knew it was going to be really strong and really popular as well, so they also kind of nerfed it a little bit. This is actually not something that I noticed until I was standing right here talking to you guys. But if you look at the 760 Ratchet, there is going to be one piece of the armor that pops out a tiny bit more than the rest. This very slight difference is going to make it a little bit more imbalanced. And it's also going to give one bigger contact point for those attack types to really hook onto, potentially increasing your burst likeliness. I'm okay with this for the most part. I mean, it's still pretty rounded, it's still pretty armored, and it's also pretty low because it's at that 60 height. So if Takara Tomy would have made it basically perfectly round, it would have been overpowered. But now we can move on to the most interesting part of the entire bay with the LeonCrest Blade. Like I said at the very beginning of the video, LeonCrest is the defense UX variant to the balance bay that was Leon Claw. And whenever we first got the reveal of LeonCrest, there was of course the excitement of a potentially good Leon Bay, but there's also a little bit of a worry because defense bays in the system aren't really the best. Defense bays in Beyblade X typically have two major flaws. One is the imbalance. Sometimes they'll have extra metal somewhere, like with Night Shield, that throws off the balance of the bay a little bit, or they're just too dang light, like with Black Shell being around 32 grams. That's going to be really light compared to some of the major attack types, like Phoenix Wing being 38, the new Arrow Pegasus being around 38 as well. So these defense types can't really take a punch. But let me put your worries to rest, because LeonCrest really is the best. That was pretty good, come on. Looking at the design of LeonCrest, starting with the gear chip, we have a really nice looking lion motif. I was a fan of the original Leon Claw design. I didn't love it, but I thought it was pretty good, although it was pretty flat because it was fully sideways. And with LeonCrest, we have a more action-oriented lion design that really pops at you, and I like this a lot better. And I also really like how they kept that gold detailing as well. It's really not super obvious on the original Leon Claw because the sticker covers it up, but because this is a UX bay that has plastic prongs instead of metal, that gold really does pop out, and it makes the bay just kind of stand out a little bit. Whenever Takara Tomy first posted pictures of LeonCrest, there was quite a few people that thought it was going to be a left spin bay. Because if you look at the blade design, it looks like the shape of the blades just kind of spins in the opposite direction, but this is still a right spin bay. So that opposite direction was done on purpose. Maybe it's supposed to be like lion claws striking the other bay. That's what makes the most sense to me. This mirrored blade design does lead to some recoil issues though. Whenever you're battling LeonCrest up against more aggressive bays like Duran Buster and Phoenix Wing especially, some of those contact points can really dig into these open gaps on the blade, causing LeonCrest to get really thrown around the stadium sometimes. For the most part, LeonCrest does a good job defending against that, but in other situations, it can get knocked into a pocket or even burst. And we obviously have to talk about how thick the blade is. Pretty much every Beyblade YouTuber has put the word thick in their unboxing title in some form. That's because it's true. If you look at LeonCrest and you compare it to some other blades like Leon Claw, for example, there is a really noticeable difference. And with this extra thickness comes extra weight as well. My LeonCrest blade weighs around 35.2 grams, and that's 3 grams heavier than my black shell. And that's going to make it one of, if not the heaviest defense type in the entire Beyblade X game, and that's a good thing. Although, all the metal is on the top of the blade, so I'm a little bit worried on how top heavy it is. So whenever you put the entire combo together, you can really see just how much of a thick wall of defense this Beyblade is, especially when you compare it to some other kind of disappointing Beyblade X defense types. But now let's move on to some test battles to see just how strong LeonCrest really is. Let it rip. Duran Buster up against LeonCrest. Duran Buster up against LeonCrest. Oh, it absorbed that hit. It absorbed it. Let it rip. Okay, yeah, it didn't, okay, yeah, it did not absorb it that time. It burst. Oh, dude. Yeah, Buster's main draw is that major impact, and Crest is mostly absorbing them. Oh no, here we go. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Dude, against Buster, man, that's a tough competition. Okay, up against the new Phoenix Rudder. Oh, okay. Over finish. Let it. Okay, Phoenix. Oh, good strike there from Phoenix Rudder. Right now, Crest looks like a brick wall. It's just eating these hits. Ooh, it's going off balance a little bit. You see that? Oh. And there you go. And that might be Gear Needle. Now let's put the two Lion Bays up against each other. We have Leon Claw up against LeonCrest. Oh, what? LeonCrest just burst itself on the extreme line. Oh! Good hits there by LeonClaw. But I don't think it's enough. I don't think Claw packs enough weight. Stamina finish here. Can we get some sort of surprise? Some surprise ending? And wow, there you go. LeonCrest is going to take it. So what did you think of the battles? Overall, I think LeonCrest did a pretty good job, especially up against those harder hitting attack types. It does have its weaknesses and its weak spots, mainly that kind of top heaviness like I mentioned earlier. But whenever you compare it to the other defense types like Knight Lance and Rhino Horn, LeonCrest is a big improvement. LeonCrest, and especially 760 though, I think are really good. And I also expect them to be pretty popular in the Beyblade meta. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hit that like button if you liked it, hit subscribe to join the Nook Nation, and I will see you in the next one. Have fun, and bay away.